Hey everybody, welcome back to a new week. I guess it's Tuesday. Feels like a Monday cuz Super Bowl kind of has that Super Bowl hangover if you will. I still I look, I love tradition as much as anybody. I really do. I still think the Super Bowl should be moved to Saturday, okay? I mean, logistically, it just makes more sense. Whichever city is hosting Super Bowl is going to make just as much money, if not more, by moving it to Saturday. Most of us, will be able to maybe enjoy that day a little bit more versus, Super Bowl ending at 8 o'clock, or I guess apparently like 11 o'clock if you're on the East Coast, and then having to get up the next morning. So, again, love tradition. I know it's called Super Bowl Saturday. You could call it Super Bowl Saturday and nobody would bat an eye. So, anyways, just my opinion. Good game, fun game. I didn't have a dog in the fight. One of my best friends was here and is a just massive 49er fan, grew up Niner fan, has been a Niner fan for a long, long time. And let's just say I'm thankful I have a projector and not a TV because he might have ran up and punched it like you see in those videos. No, anyways. So, not a lot to talk about. We're in the quietest time of the year for about 3 weeks. It'll be quiet for about 3 weeks or so, and that's just how it goes. It'll be relatively quiet again in July, and then outside of that, you pretty much have action all the way around. So recruiting and team management and news is a year round thing, but February is going to be quiet, and in July will be quiet, and that's just the way it goes for the most part. So questions that I got for today, and I can answer some more questions tomorrow. Maybe I'll leave that one open and answer a few more tomorrow. But I just pretty much went down and took the first few that I saw. What will Big Ten recruiting look like for 2025 for Oregon? Good question. It's going to resemble what we saw in 2024. Of course, Ohio State, finished just ahead of Oregon, call it neck and neck. And that's the real battle now is going to be Oregon and Ohio State. I know it's hard for us as just traditionalists, just, with knowing the Pac 10, Pac 12, whatever, always being worried about USC, like that being the biggest threat on the recruiting trail. It isn't USC, okay? I don't, I mean, Dan Lanning's not losing recruiting battles to USC with Lincoln Riley there, and certainly didn't with what's his name before Lincoln Riley. It'll come to me. I'm blanking because I don't cover USC. Anyways, as far as that goes, you're going to battle Ohio State for some guys, whether it be from their footprint or whether it be from our footprint out this way. That's really the battle. I don't see a lot changing. I do think it potentially opens doors, but until those games are actually played in those venues back east, okay, over the next year or two, I don't see a massive shift. And once that starts to happen, once somebody from Maryland can go to Maryland and watch Oregon play in that venue, not a lot's going to change. So it's not going to be this rapid thing, but I do think we'll see some, periodical changes over the next, 2 to 3 to 4 years, with just, more games being played back east and that opening more doors. So that's what it'll look like. Won't be a big difference for 25, but maybe a marginal. Highest rated player for 2025. Right now, for my money, it's February. Okay, I've got to say DeCorian Moore, wide receiver, committed to LSU out of Texas. He's the number 4 player in the country. So there's only 3 spots to improve on that. He's a really good football player. Typically, on any recruiting service, on 3, 24/7, you name it, okay, guys up in that top 10, top 15 don't move around a whole lot, okay? So you don't typically see a guy that's ranked number 4 overall drop all the way down to number 54, for example. Okay, so DeCorian Moore more than likely is going to hang around in that top 10 throughout the cycle. And right now I would say Oregon, of anybody in the top 10, that's a guy that I think Oregon has the best shot with today. I know it's an answer that you might have expected or would have have heard before, but I think it's the right answer too. So kind of a broad question. Biggest program priorities for coaches and players on campus between now and spring ball. The simple answer is just to get bigger, stronger, faster. And that's cliche to say, but that's the case right now. You're working out with the strength coaches. You're working out with the speed coaches. That's what Oregon's doing right now. A lot of it is voluntary. And this is what I call a very critical time for this team, okay, for the guys on campus. This is where the leaders rise to the top is now, okay? Not in August. It's already been designated in August. You're looking for a Dylan Gabriel, somebody new. You're looking for somebody on the offensive line. You're looking for somebody, maybe it's Jeff Bassa. You're looking for those guys that have been at the program or experienced guys in college football to take the reins of this team and say, no, you guys aren't skipping workouts. When we're told to be there at 6 o'clock, we're there at 5:55. And if we're told to be there till 8 o'clock, we're there till 8:05 and we're working. That's what you're looking for right now. That's the DNA of a championship program, is finding out who those guys are and letting them establish those roles now. So, is it a lot about football? No, it's not as much about football. Okay, it's more about conditioning and getting ready so that you don't have to spend that time in April during spring ball doing it, if that makes sense. So that's the priority. You're getting your freshmen, your true freshmen, maybe your red shirt freshmen, adjusted to, the strength and conditioning programs. You're getting those guys up and running. You're needing to take your older guys and bring the younger guys up with them. So that's what you're doing right now. You're building the culture and the DNA of your football team right now. Replacements for Jordan Salkin, who, of course, was an offensive analyst, GA. Look, the program's really big now. There's a lot of names in there. There's names that people don't even know about, unless you go look at the directory that we don't talk about. Jordan Salkin's one we don't really talk about at all. College football hasn't changed in this regard. It's still your coordinators and your assistants being the meat and potatoes of your program. Those are the guys that are making this machine run. And then you've got some auxiliary guys that are really just kind of taking some stuff off their plate, trying to look for little ways to make them a little bit more efficient or a little bit better. And that's where a guy like Jordan Salkin comes in. Doesn't come in and change the program. Okay. It's not like we're not going to have a quarterback that knows what they're doing now because Jordan Salkin left, and good for him. He got a promotion. That's great. That's what you want. So I don't pretend to follow those as closely as I would say Will Stein left. Of course, we'd have a hot board up. I would be digging for the names and who's being interviewed. Much different animal. So I'm not really digging there. One name I'll throw out, I would call it semi-lazy, but kind of obvious. I would say maybe Nate Costa. Okay, he's worked at Oregon already. He was involved with the program under Dan Lanning to a degree, kind of an analyst, kind of a support guy in a we'll call it a limited role. Nate Costa's sitting right there. I know he'd love to be back with the program, and obviously he knows how to coach quarterbacks. So I probably won't dig too much into it after that, to be honest with you. But there's a name I could throw right at you, and it makes total sense. So you know what? Good for Nate. I hope he's the guy, and if he isn't, then I'm like you. I trust Coach Lanning. So, anyways, there's 4 questions. I've gone for 8 minutes. All right, it's time to cut this thing off, and maybe I'll come back tomorrow and do some more again. All right, have a good day, guys.